Welcome back to the lab. Genuine first thing in the morning, just walking out to the workshop. That's still full, see? Have not opened that. Start of the day, some people have coffee. I have, that's the empty going for a slide. Brew of toxic chemicals, probably just as bad as coffee. So what's been happening out here? That happened quite late, actually. After yesterday's video, it was, I'm not going to call it prepared. it was sort of ready for some carbon fibre to go on it, but not really. This is a seriously rough smash it together job, right? So this is not how you do it at all. You can get away with it, but it's not ideal. There's going to be issues. Sounds like it's gone hard, so that's good, and it's not sticky, so that's another thing that's good. It's going to have issues with panel lines and stuff all over the place, and there's probably bubbles in the front. On the top surface, you can see this is not sitting down properly because it hasn't been vacuum formed or anything. Oh, that's might be a little bit sticky there. No, it might be just smooth, clean surface. So the top of this is going to be pretty rough, but I'm not worried, right? I don't care. This is about making it lighter. Yep, it's going to involve more prep work, getting paint on there, or vinyl wrap, or whatever we do, because the top surface is not going to be great. I'm not worried about it. The logistics of getting my hands on vacuum bag and all that sort of carry on is, I just can't be bothered at the moment, and this will be fine. I'm going to probably use a compressed air gun, fire up the compressor shortly, and we'll peel the bonnet away from this, and we'll see what we've got. It is stuck to the cardboard. Not worried about that either. We'll see how we go. Now this has got offcuts used to give extra strength, so the underside of this is not necessarily going to be the prettiest thing in the world. The top side's probably not going to be either, but the top side is one piece, so it shouldn't be completely horrid. It won't look like this. It won't have joins in it. You've got to be so careful with carbon fibre. You run your fingers over it the wrong places, it will stab you and it hurts. So we're 8 o'clock. It must be a little bit after 8 o'clock. That thing's weird. It does strange things with its time. Somehow it can run late at night, but early in the morning, and who knows. So we'll get this out of here. We'll see what we've got. Before we take that out of there, I forgot to mention something. The resin, dirty trick with the resin. It all looked good in its bottles. It's actually all put away in the cupboard there. Everything looked fine. I knew it was old. I was aware that it can go off or have a shelf life, right? And you can exceed your shelf life and have problems. So I looked at that and it all appeared to be fine, and it all tipped out into the containers. Lovely. There it is there. I used a roller because I ran out of brushes. I need some brushes too. It all looked kosher until 10:30 last night, I think it probably was. I had my scale set up here in a little container, and I was pouring it in there, and we needed some more fluid, and there was no fluid coming out, and the container was really heavy, and we had a whole heap of solids consolidated in the bottom, I'm going to say a third of the container, which rang massive alarm bells for me, and I had visions of walking out here in the morning and this going not set. We appear to have got away with it. If it's an aircraft component or something like that, you'd have to bin it because you don't know what's going on with the resin. But that, I'd say that's pretty good. If anything, it might be too brittle. So we'll see how we go. Like that's, I haven't even managed to mark that. Barely marked it with my ruler. There we go. There's some marks in there now. So yeah, she definitely has gone hard. Like I say, whether it's too hard, there may be some issues with that, but we'll see. It's a reasonable amount of stiffness to it. Okay, that is cracked loose from its thing. It's not really a mold, kind of, sort of, not really. Oh, I can't put that glove on with one hand. I'm gonna have to use my right hand to hold the phone, because I'm not touching this stuff, doing what we're about to do without gloves. So this is an example of the result you'll get when you don't do everything the way it's supposed to be done, right? So the original layer that went on to this, the mold, term used loosely, was sprayed with the releasing agent, PVA, that was allowed to cure. It had heaps of time, so that shouldn't be any problems with that. And I haven't looked, to be honest, but it came loose from the mold, so we're good. I've not flipped this over. You're going to see this the same time I'm going to see this. I was lazy. I didn't put any resin down in the mold. I just put the cloth on there, bang, and I just rolled some crap on it. Let's go. Did a couple of layers, ran out of time, finished the video up. Did I finish the video up first? No, I finished the video up first, or whatever. See, this is real time. I haven't even looked. Went inside, came back out much later on in the night, and while it was still tacky, and put another couple of layers in the mess that you see here. So, without further ado, we reveal the... Yeah, bubbles and stuff. Bubbles and stuff. Marks in the surface. This is from lack of prep on the mold. This is because I just wire buffed it, because we don't really care about this top surface, to be honest. This is what happens when you have tape on top. Look, there's actually, this will be shinier. It's actually not bad, some of that. Look, that's actually under there, under the releasing agent, which is still all over the entire surface of this right now. There's going to be some pretty good pieces ruined by the bad pieces everywhere. So you can, if you want to, the dullness that you're seeing everywhere is the releasing agent that's still attached. See, that's shiny. That'd polish up if you really wanted to. If you want to, from this point, if you make a hash of it like this, it is possible to improve on it using resin, filling in the holes and all that sort of carry on, and then polishing it all, sanding it all back, polishing it, clear coating over the top and everything. And this is actually probably, to be honest, even though it's mud, it's actually better than what I expected. I thought we'd see some great big bubbles along this panel line that we've got here. We've nearly got all of that, I think. In fact, let's say that's actually not bad at all. Maybe an issue at the back edge here, a little bit dry on the resin. We can fix that. It's reasonably rigid, considering it probably hasn't yet fully cured 100%, maybe some of it, don't know. Let's trim all the crap off and see if it actually sits on the car properly. Washed with a hose to get rid of the releasing agent. I've given it a quick scratch with sandpaper. I don't want people thinking that this is the best that I can achieve, best result and stuff. This is by far not maximum effort. Some of it's not terrible, depending on how much quality you want for something that's either going to be gel coated and painted, or high fill primer or whatever. You know, this is not going to be an exposed carbon fiber bonnet. Though I haven't actually stood back and had a look to see what it would potentially look like. Probably wouldn't look terrible. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. He says now, changes his mind later. So I think I'll run with this. This doesn't, let's weigh it. Let's put it up there and we'll weigh that. That does not weigh a lot. This is, I'm pretty sure, 1.2, not 1.6. Sorry, I'm how am I going to measure it? Yes, 1.2 with that. So for strength versus weight, you're not going to achieve a heck of a lot doing that in carbon fibre. Yes, it'll be lighter, lots and lots of effort, and there's a few things I can't just use this straight off as a mould just as it is sitting there like that. We'd have to do it, excuse the noise, from the inside, and I'd need to fill in this radius this a little bit, or it's just not going to work very nicely. It's a bit of a tricky shape to do it in one piece out of carbon fibre. That's going to be fine. Let's just run with that. Putting the tape on the top side like that and moulding it from the other side has handily left little studs. There's one there, so we know exactly where the rivet holes go. There's another one there, there's another one there, I think that's one. So I can actually just buzz the drill straight through that in a couple of places, drop that onto it, done, and that'll be attached to that. Is that before or after painting? Whatever, it's not going to matter either way. It'll hold it together while we sand it and all that sort of stuff. The front of that's really, really good. You can see my fingers changing colour there, and you can't see any distortion really in the bonnet. So that's really, really strong in that area. It does need a bit more support out the edges and through this general area here. Maybe another layer across the back there. So I have to go and get some resin. We've got plenty of cloth. See if I can find some foam. Actually, that's an idea. I might just use some strips of plywood, carefully shaped, and that will give us some guts in these areas that we need to strengthen up, or maybe even aluminium extrusion. There's some of that kicking around. But pretty happy with that. I've not weighed it. I said it might be 2 kgs, didn't I? That's absolutely not 2 kgs. It should be in theory, I thought, but no, that won't be. It'll be quite light. So yep, looking terrible, but overall in the scheme of things the project is going quite well. Scale's being put to use again. 1 kg and a little bit. That's going to be hard to weigh. I've just got my thumb actually, just carefully resting against that. We'll call it 1.2 for argument's sake, because we're going to have a few rivets. Plus that and a little bit. We're looking at 2.5 kgs, and that bonnet would almost be ready to go. That one was weighed with the bonnet latches in it, to be fair, so we had to yeah, let's just see what they weigh. Why not? Let's just do that, get things mostly accurate. Mostly. Oh yeah, it's a little bit of weight there, isn't it? So we won't quite be a 5 kg weight loss. It's going to be something like 4.5, even with some bits and pieces added in there. So 4.5 kgs out of the car for a few, I don't know, do you count my time? I don't know. Material cost 300, 400, $100 a kg. That's pretty good. It's not a bad rate. I still want to do the doors. Very late in the day. I'm quite tired. I'm struggling to spit my words out here. This is like take 752 of this final piece of the video for today. This all went hard. It's good. That worked. So the dodgy resin that we had appears to have been okay, sufficient for this. If it was an aircraft part, you would throw that away. Absolutely, you wouldn't trust it, but it's a bonnet on a race car. It'll be okay. I've added in some guts where it needed it based on how much flex we had. I showed earlier on, I think, pressing in the middle here, and it was absolutely fine, but just out towards these outside edges where it gets very, very thin. There's only quite a thin section of bonnet there. Very floppy, flappy. Would have been a disaster on on the track, it would have fallen apart. So I've beefed it up with a couple of extra layers. There will be some form of something running through here. Now I had some aluminium extrusion. There it is, there. I actually had a lot of this, and this would be ideal. But as is the way, somebody wanted to use some, so I let them have some, and now we are just a bit too short to actually do what we want it to do. So might be a trip to Ulrich or someone and get some more extrusion. I reckon that'll be the way to do it. Just run a strip all the way through there. I mean, I've actually got some 2mm sheet. I could cut a piece from 2mm sheet, but I think that's a waste of effort. And just give that some guts. It's not bad now, and that resin hasn't actually set. It's just wobbling the whole bonnet, right? So it's not bad. I did another risky using old stock, that there, which is looking dodgy as I mixed up a small little sample and made sure it was going off, and it was, so mixed up a larger batch and did all this. Cross fingers, hope for the best. If it doesn't work, throw it in the bin, we'll start again. Right. Thanks for watching how not to make a carbon fibre bonnet. Tomorrow we're doing stuff and things on Abby. She's got a door leaning against her. I'm sure she doesn't mind. And then on the weekend we might crack on with installing our new ECU in this piece. Well, starting. I'm sure it'll take more than 2 days. Thanks for watching. Cheers, boy.